Hi everybody, let's take a look at homework 9 and 10. I'm just going to start a few problems and hopefully get you going. And if you're still having trouble, make sure you come into class and ask for some help, okay? So in these first few, we're going to try and determine whether or not the graphs represent two quantities that are proportional to each other. So let's take a look at the first graph. It's going to be this one right here, donated money versus donations matched by a benefactor. Now that might not make any sense right away, but we're just going to try and be clear about the idea that there are two things happening here. Right? There's money donated, and then there's money matched, whatever those things mean, right? Donated and matched. And looking at the graph, you might say, okay, I get that it's a straight line. It looks like it passes through the origin, but let's try something a little different, right? Let's identify a couple ratios. Right, so there's one. We'll call that red one right there. It means that if somebody puts in $200 or donates, they will be matched by $200. Now, in this case, it doesn't really look like it matters which one goes on top, but remember, we always want the Y value to go on top. And down here, this will be the X value. So here, I might say this is the $200 X, and it's matched by the $200 Y. Boom. And I'll just pick out some other one, right? I'm going to pick an easy one. This one's right on the line. So let's make that our X value. We'll say if somebody donates $400, and they will be matched by $400. That ratio right there represents 400 on the Y and 400 on the X. So hopefully we can see that both of these equal 1. Both of these equal 1. So this is a rate of 1. And you might have heard the phrase somewhere, 1 to 1, right? You recognize hopefully that this fraction would simplify to 1 over 1. So you're being matched at a rate of $1 that you donate is $1 that is matched. So that's how we're just going to look at the graph to help us determine whether it's proportionate or not. I'm going to do the same thing here, right? Hopefully you get that age is on the x-axis and admission price to the movies is on the y-axis. Or it doesn't say movies, it could be anything. It could be a play or a dance or something. We're just going to pick a couple numbers, right? Let's pick this one. That one right there is going to be 6 over 6. I should write this in the other color. 6. Y is 6. And x is 6. And over here, so that gives us a rate of 1. It looks like it might be the same thing. But let's pick another one. Over here, it looks like y is 6. It still costs $6 to go to the movies, or the dance, or the play, or whatever the admission is to. And it looks like this person is 2 years old. So even a 2-year-old has to pay $6. This has a rate of 3. So it's not proportionate, which you probably knew because it doesn't go, this line does not go through the origin. Right? We'd expect, if it were proportionate, we'd expect someone who is 0 years old to pay $0, or 0 years old to pay $0. Right? But that's not the case. It looks like everybody has to pay the same no matter how old they are. So that just means that the admission price is not related to the age. That's what makes it not a proportionate, or not a proportion. Okay, this one, I'm not going to go too far into this one. It just says here that you've got these ratios up here. They're listing them. And if you write them down, 2 to 24, 3 to 36, 5 to 60, they want you to do your thing on this table to tell if it is proportional or not. And then it invites you, right, if you can't tell from the table, to graph them. I didn't put the graph in the video, but it's there on your homework. You could do that. All right, and this is getting into the second page of homework. So this is homework 10, right? So these are problems you might be doing on Wednesday or Thursday. Each one of these are going to give you a ratio and then ask you a follow-up question about them. Right? So here it is, $69 per pound. They've given us the unit rate, $69, or 69 cents, sorry, and 1 pound. What's the constant of proportionality? Hopefully you can just recognize that whenever you see a number on top of 1, that's it. 69 cents. How much will 24 pounds of apples cost? Well, we would write that unit rate just the way it was. This is LBS, labeling things. And we are going to try and turn that 1 into 24 apples, or 24 pounds of apples. So obviously, hopefully, you're going to multiply by 24, right? And then you multiply this by 24, and you would have your cost, right? A little bit of old school fractions there for you. All right, and they should all work like that, except we're not always given the unit rate. So we're going to have to find that ourselves. So in this case, she's given $28, and she's saved $4. That's the ratio you're given. We want to find the constant of proportionality. You know that that is going to be the number over 1. So here, you're asked to just simply find the unit rate, and then you can solve the next problems. Okay, that's the pattern for these questions. All right, thanks. Good luck. Ask questions in class if you don't.